Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and all spooks alike. Thank you for tuning in to Confessions from the Darkside. Today we have a very special episode for you guys. And this is something that Darcy and I really share interest in and we absolutely love. And it is going to be a episode that's going to be memorable. It's going to be an episode that's probably going to be a little bit funny just because of what we will be talking about today. But today's episode, we would like to wish a very special actor, a legend, a happy birthday. And Darcy, who is this wonderful actor that we are wishing a happy birthday to today?
Well, the actor in question that Luna is referring to is Mr. Matthew Lillard. Do you not know who Matthew Lillard is? Are you even a horror fan if you do not know who Matthew fucking Lillard is? Well, you should know. He is amazing, he is iconic, and he is one of the reasons why we love the Scream franchise so much. Isn't that right?
Absolutely. Scream and just the plethora movies in general that this man has developed over his career. And not only that, it's his acting style. He can literally go from the sweetest, loving actor to playing some of the darkest, grittiest roles, and it just seems natural to this man. And he is a one-of-a-kind actor that is
Underappreciated, I feel.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
definitely underappreciated. I definitely feel, and as Darcy just said, it's one of those things to where how can you not love him as an actor? Even if he's not doing horror movies, he's still doing movies like, let's face it, besides the TV series, he played probably the best Shaggy that would probably could ever be represented in Scooby-Doo, period.
I don't like James Gunn, but James Gunn has done so much for Matthew Lillard's career. Not that he needed it. It's again, it seems that Scooby-Doo is something that he's constantly been working on and has expanded the Scooby-Doo universe because it's been fluid. It's been him in the movies and then the voice in the animated series and also in games and one-off specials and things like that. He is the voice of Shaggy, which I absolutely love that he thought, I'm going to continue doing that voice because I don't like it when you have movies that have animated shows and they bring in a different voice actor. It's nothing to do with the voice actor. It's the fact that you want it to sound the fucking same, especially when it's children. It's like you want them to associate the voice with the character. And if they hear the character's voice in another movie, then they're like, oh my goodness, that's Shaggy. And I like the fact that he actually does that he actually is still playing that role. And it's been, over 20 years he's been doing that?
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of kept it going for years now, and when like Darcy said, when you hear his voice, you immediately can think of other movies he's been in, other roles he's been in, and you can just think of the iconic ones off the top of your head. And today we are going to go through a little bit of a bio about Mr. Lillard and then some of his movies. Well, he's got a plethora of movies. I don't think we're going to name them all, but we might.
No, I did a list basically just so I could highlight the big movies, or not even some of the movies that weren't big, but they're actually like a cult following, and maybe actually introduce them to people who you might just be a fan of, say, Scream, or you've never seen other movies that he's in, or maybe you're not aware that he has done loads. He's done comedies, just comedies and dark comedies, and he's been in serious TV shows and stuff. He's very, again, all round, very good actor, but he's known for certain roles, and that's what we're going to discuss today, that he has done so much and he's only kind of recognised for, Scream and 13 Ghosts and all that carry on. That's what we were trying to we want to celebrate him today because it's his birthday and we love him and people in the horror community love him. And I'm slightly older than Luna, and Luna has seen probably, if not just as many movies that he's been in, if not them all, like myself, because we love him as an actor no matter what he's in. And I'm just so happy that he's just had the opportunity to kind of stay in the limelight, whether it's, been in Scooby-Doo. He's always kept him there, and he seems to now be getting his own sort of like not universe, but you know what I mean. It's just I like the fact that he's been recognised again. I don't know if you understand what I mean. It's just we understand, we know what he's like, we know what he's capable of, and when we see him in something that's different from what we've seen him in, it's just like, holy shit, what else can he do? What can he not do? Basically, that's what we're trying to tell you today when we go through his bio and talk a wee bit about his career and his life and everything like that, because you might not be aware of everything. So we're just going to be thorough and give him the best birthday birthday shout out that we can actually do.
Absolutely. So, as we always do,
A disclaimer.
yeah, we're going to do a disclaimer. Yes, this is still us. Yes, even though we are treasuring and cherishing and celebrating a legend's birthday, we are still full of adult content.
That's never going away.
That's for us, that's never going away. Even though we have our, aftercare episodes or our mental check-ins, we're still full of adult content, even though those are still mild compared to our other episodes. But
we're just giving you a warning.
Yes, for those who have checked us out, for those who don't care for the adult content that we bring to the gauntlet here at Confessions from the Darkside,
The gauntlet.
I will say this, and I will say this once: get the fuck out of my kitchen.
Our
Because
kitchen.
Our kitchen. You are true. You are correct. Our kitchen. But for those who enjoy what we have here, for those who love the goofiness, randomness, explicitness that we bring to this table, that we bring to this gauntlet, then feel free to stick around. We're going to drop the guillotine, and we're going to have a great birthday shout out to Matthew Lillard today.
Minus cake, obviously.
We'll cut it with the guillotine. How about that?
Oh, yay!
Why is Matthew Lillard a legend? Why do we love him so much? He is an actor who has not only been part of the most memorable horror franchise that rebooted everything as we knew it, and made us want. He has been in movies, shows that just wouldn't be the same without him. When you see him on screen, you know shit is about to get fucking real really quick. And I mean, he's going to give you everything he has, and then when you think you have had enough, he will show us that no, he is not finished. He's just getting started. And this is how I felt reading the latest article about his work within Blumhouse Productions. Not only did he own his role in Five Nights at Freddy's, but he signed up for another 3 movies with Blumhouse. And I know we both are over the moon that Matthew Lillard is getting some sweet horror action, and I am totally here for it all. We both are. So there's hands down, we both are down over the moon for this, and we're definitely here for it. For Matthew Lillard and Blumhouse, of course, I cannot wait to see what Blumhouse has up its sleeve. It's great to see the company branching out and doing what they do best, bringing horror into this generation so that it can evolve for the future. And I know this is a shout out and a celebration for Matthew Lillard's birthday, but going to do a small shout out to Blumhouse Productions, because without Blumhouse Productions, I honestly hate to say this, horror movies have not been the same for a while now. And then when Blumhouse Productions have come out, it seems like they're starting to grasp and do horror right again. And that's what we've been looking for. And then you sign on an absolute legend like Mr. Lillard. You just created the all-star Marvel Universe end team with bringing him into a horror franchise, especially from Blumhouse. He's going to, again, like we just said, go above and beyond his acting talents for these horror movies that are going to be brought up by Blumhouse. Five Nights at Freddy's, he absolutely murdered his part. He did great with it. And now we have him doing 3 more movies with Blumhouse, and I could only imagine the capabilities that Matthew Lillard is going to bring to the table.
I agree.
Myself and Darce are huge fans of Mr. Lillard's, and if he ever came to a horror con, and this is for Darcy, if he ever went to a horror con in Scotland, she definitely would call me up, guys, and be like, hey,
like, can you say hi to my mate, please? I'm like, can you say hi to my mate, please? He's an American and I'm here. So please say hi to him.
Yeah, if she ever did video call me and she's standing next to this myth, this legend of a man, I'd probably pass out on camera, even though I'm, not even there to see him in person. I'd be like, oh my God, and just pass out.
Exactly. It's kind of like when I met Bruce Boxlinger at Comic-Con, and I literally almost peed myself because I was so overwhelmed to meet Prawn. I was just like, what? Like, my God. And also from Babylon 5, 'cause that's why I was there.
Babylon
Oh
5.
yeah, I love
Okay.
Babylon 5. Pick the fuck up. See if you come at me and say shit, I swear to God, I will come
I
to America
wasn't
and
gonna
kill
say
you.
I was not gonna say shit about Babylon 5. It's been a while since I even heard the name, so it's like, oh, wow, that just kind of unlocked a treasure trove of memories that I have back in my head. So, little brief bio on Mr. Lillard on his special day. Full name is Matthew Lynn Lillard.
I thought it was strange for a boy to be called Lynn, but apparently it's like a family name. There's a few people.
It is, yeah. I mean, it can be a family name. This gentleman was born the 24th of January. Today, again, happy birthday, in 1970
In Michigan.
in Michigan. Lansing, Michigan, making him a whopping 21 years old today, guys. No, he's 54 years old.
He does
But
not
man,
look a day over 21.
yeah,
That's what we're trying
he
to say.
he can still act like he's still in his 20s. Grew up in Tucson, California. He does have a younger sister named Amy. His parents, Paula and Jeffrey Lillard. Thank you, Paula and Jeffrey, for making this outstanding actor of a man.
Astounding human being. Thank you for
Yes.
gracing us with his presence.
Absolutely. He is married with 3 children. He attended Fullerton College, then he attended American Academy of Dramatic Arts in Pasadena, California. So, he did have a early career, and it kind of just seems like this role was meant for him. Period. From his early career, he was in an uncredited role in the Scooby-Doo show in 1978. He co-hosted a short-lived TV show called Skate TV. Then he was hired as an extra in Ghoulies 3, Ghoulies Go to College. This was in 1991.
Making him 21.
Making him 21. His career spanned and is still spanning from his earlier careers of his 1978 uncredited role in Scooby-Doo, and it just continued to grow from here. So he did Serial Mom in 1994. It's one of the movies I love him in, and Darcy loves him in as well. If you guys do not know anything about Serial Mom,
Good. It's a dark black humor,
Yeah.
basically, movie that's apparently based around real events of a mum who's protecting her family and her against society, really. And she just goes and does absurd things. And the mum is Kathleen Turner. If you don't know who she is, she plays Chandler's dad in Friends and loads of movies. She's been in loads of shows and everything like that, Californication and stuff. She's an amazing actress and has a very distinctive, husky, raspy voice. It's pretty sexy, actually. And she's basically plays Matthew Lillard's mum. Ricky Lake's in it as well, you know, the old talk show host. And basically that's Matthew Lillard's sister. She does messed up shit, like she'll do like prank calls. People don't know what prank calls are now. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Scream, like you would have a prank call like we've spoke about before. Mobile phones are different now. You just had your regular like analog telephone. So she was like harassing the neighborhood and stuff, and she just does messed up shit to protect her family. And anybody who hurts her children, whether physically or emotionally, she does what any fierce mama bear does. She literally goes through them, and it's hilarious how she does it. But also it is technically a horror movie, and it's dark because there's murder that happens. That's why she's called Serial Mom. I love the front cover because it's basically her with like surgical scissors, isn't it? And it's just like some blood in the front cover, and it's just her looking like this look of you're getting it, pal. Do you know what I mean? So it's an amazing movie. It's, again, some people don't actually haven't seen it because it's not like like I said, it's proper etiquette. Kathleen Turner, basically, in the description. If you haven't seen it, please go see it. It's probably available. I don't know where it's available in the United States, but I'm sure you can get it on Prime here. Whether you have to pay for it or not, but and I think YouTube might actually have it. One of their movies as well. But it's a really good dark movie.
YouTube's been pretty good at adding movies on there.
Oh, that's good. So if you haven't seen basically Serial Mom, go watch it now.
Absolutely.
At the end of this podcast, obviously.
He's been after Serial Mom. He went back to back 5 movies.
Yeah, he did.
And one of the movies was Hackers with Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
Johnny Lee Miller, where they take down a huge corporation, and Early Anonymous. We are elite. Yes. If you guys haven't seen Hackers, It was a decent movie. I'm not gonna say it was.
Oh my god, take that back right now. I'll have nothing said against hackers.
And this is why I say the things I do, is just to get reactions sometimes. No, Hackers was a great movie.
So you just
Especially,
had to troll me there and say it wasn't a good movie? You're a prick. Seriously, you're a prick. How
I didn't
dare
say, I
you?
did not say it wasn't a good movie. I said it was a decent movie. There is a difference, but no, it was a great movie.
Take that back.
I do like trolling Darcy sometimes, guys, even when we're doing random stuff like this and celebration stuff like this too. But I had, because I knew Hackers was going to be in here, so yes, I had to
It's just
troll.
a whole soundtrack of that one Prodigy song.
Yes.
Voodoo People, that just makes that movie amazing. And again, Matthew Lillard, very, very good. He plays a very, very odd, obscure type guy, eccentric guy, and he's a hacker as well. They're all hackers and they all have their own strengths, and it's a really good movie. But again, it's funny, and again, Matthew Lillard he's just Stu, basically. He's Stu without killing, wouldn't you say? Because he was kind of typecast as being the kind of eccentric, oddball, funny guy.
Yes.
But this is what
But
he was in before Scream, though. People
yeah.
forget that.
Yep. That's absolutely what it was, and he's mainly done either TV movies, TV shows for his earlier careers, or even video games.
Yeah.
And then he's come out and he was literally in everything.
Yeah.
Once his career kicked off between Serial Mom and Hackers, he started to just be in everything. And guys, if you guys know who he is, you guys know what really blew him over the top would have been Scream.
Fuck yes, it was.
We do have a list of his movies. We're going to go through some of them, but we got highlighted ones for the ones that really kind of blew him up as the man, the myth, the legend that he is now.
And like we keep saying, he actually has been the voice in video games since the start of his career. Well, kind of the start of his actual career after like university and stuff. In college, he's been, and also it's like little shorts. But he still to this day does video games. D&D player from what someone was saying to me. I don't play D&D. It's something that, again, it's not really that, it wasn't really big here, if you know what I mean. It is bigger now. More like Warhammer 40k and things like that. It's bigger here because it's a British company. It's good to know that he gets to use his hobbies, like because he's actually on a D&D show thing, which is pretty good as well. Because again, you're introducing a new generation to a game that might have been lost, which I do like the sound of as well. So it's really good that he does all those other additional things with his career and who he is by being on these shows, because these shows might not end up being big, but they would be, you know, having like sometimes you've got like, is it Felicia Day and stuff on these shows. So that, again, another good thing. I like the fact that he's got a passion, his hobby that he can actually flood into his own career as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, guys, we're going to skim through the list, but like I said, we're going to name the ones that are, you know, highlighted, bold, all stuff like that, and probably a couple here and there. We definitely know that out of everything, this wonderful gentleman has done so much with Scooby-Doo.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't list Scooby-Doo, there's a reason why, and that's mainly because, well, I'm talking about it now, for one. And two,
spanned his full career up until recently.
It's from when he's done the uncredited back when his career started, to when they did the live action in 2002 Scooby-Doo. After that, he's been in almost anything and everything Scooby-Doo related, because he is Shaggy.
He's the only Shaggy we know.
Yeah, he is the only Shaggy that's needed, known, or anything. But we just talked about it, but 1995 he did Hackers.
Mm-hmm.
Then 1996, Scream.
See, when you saw Scream for the first time, did you know from the get-go that he was the killer? Because I thought it was, I literally thought there was three. I said, they're going to try and blame the guy who's obsessed with horror movies and works in a video shop, so he's definitely not it.
Yeah, no.
But I thought it was Billy or him, not both of them. That's what the twist was. Again, if you've not seen it, where the fuck have you been?
Yeah, I honestly thought it was Billy the whole time. I didn't think it was going to be Billy and him. So it kind of threw me for a loop. But at the same time, his demeanor throughout the movie kind of was like, well, maybe, maybe not, maybe not, yes, no, yeah. It was back and forth until at the very end of it, and then you're like, oh, okay.
See, I
But
like it because it made people question, because Wes Craven took it upon himself to make people question, like, what the fuck's going on. And
oh,
again,
absolutely.
he changed it, and he was in the original one, and we've spoke about this when we spoke about the sequels and stuff off screen before, that Wes Craven, he shook everything up. He created this different alternative way to see slasher films for the 20th century, and the 21st century we're in the now. They've just never managed to bottle that and capture that again. There's never just
Absolutely.
Wes Craven, and the fact that Wes Craven is no longer with it, they still try and make it like the original three movies, basically the original ones, before they
Yep.
started to go off it, and they can't recapture that essence. Basically, it's kind of just they just can't.
I
And
won't
that's the
lie
good
to you.
thing.
I won't lie to you. And again, I know this is, a great celebration to Mr. Lillard, but if Blumhouse got the rights to Scream after Mr. Craven passed, I honestly feel that it still would have been going in the direction that he wanted it to be in, and not in this direction now.
I feel that if Blumhouse actually films, and so see if they actually, it's just them. I've noticed when there's other people involved, you can see where Blumhouse is going, and then you can see where the other people have taken over, because the movie starts to get a wee bit shit.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't like about it when they bring in other people, and I get it. It's too many cooks.
Yep, too many cooks, one small kitchen.
Exactly.
But 97, Scream 2. Now, guys, he was, if you guys did not or did pay attention, for the ones who absolutely love his career, but for the ones who did not pay attention, he was uncredited in the movie. He was a man at the party, and Mr. Craven was a sneaky, sneaky man for putting him in there. Then he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 movies in between Scream 2 and his next iconic role, which is a underdog of a movie for some odd reason, because Matthew Lillard was...
It wasn't a big movie, though. It wasn't like a humongous movie like Scream. It was a big movie, but not a humongous
Yeah,
one.
and that's the problem, was he went from Scream to being so immersed into this character for this upcoming movie. And guys, the movie that we are talking in question is 13 Ghosts.
He was amazing in that film.
He was an amazing actor in that movie. The movie only did get 5.6 stars out of 10, which, as Darcy has put it bluntly, the people who gave these ratings need to be flogged hard.
And I'm not talking about just a wee flogging. I mean, they need to be on a St. Andrew's cross and flogged to fuck for saying that, because they obviously haven't watched the fucking movie or took in all the different aspects of that movie.
Absolutely. I mean, he not only that, guys, you got to think too, 13 Ghosts not only had Matthew Lillard, but it also had
Nadia from American Pie.
I was drawing a blank, but yes, and then it had...
Is it Shannon Elizabeth, her real name is?
Yes, Shannon Elizabeth, I do believe that is correct. And then the main actor in it, Tony Shalhoub.
He played the dad?
He played the dad, yeah. And it had a bang-up cast, and to be honest, if it had anybody other than Matthew Lillard playing the... I guess, what would you call him in that movie?
He was a psychic, but he also had it was empathic as well.
That's mainly what I think that was the word I was looking for, was the empath ability to feel and see everything around him.
It's not just that, it's the fact that he can touch stuff as well.
Yes.
It's not just he can see it, because if you've not seen 13 Ghosts, it's a special house. There's shit going on. There's these spirits in this house. We put these glasses on because the house has been specially designed and stuff. It moves and it shifts, that you can see different ghosts from different spirits basically in different parts of the house. It was created as part of basically a bigger picture basically. I mean, you put these special glasses on, you can see the spirits and the entities that they need for this house basically in this bigger picture. And the way they encapsulate Matthew Lillard, the way he's encapsulated this character, that not only, yes, he's doing something wrong by bringing this family here who have been through a traumatic experience after losing his wife and the mother of his children. They're still dealing with this grief, and he's brought them to this house, and you see the pain that it actually is causing this character to actually cause on another family. And the way Matthew Lillard does it, I swear to God, I could have cried for him, because you could see, because he's trying to show that his empathetic side and his psychic abilities actually physically hurt him. So when he sees the things, he's in pain, he's in tremendous amounts of pain, but he's doing this. He knows it's wrong, and when he's going through the movie, you can see that he's having such remorse for doing this to the family, and that's why he's so fucking good at showing this sort of side to his craft. And I'm not being a douche. There is actors, you can be an actor and just read things and just do, like other actors, like people, like for example wrestlers who become actors, they're not always great, it's just they're typecasted to play this role well. Whereas Matthew Lillard, when he's in 13 Ghosts, I love Scream. I fucking love Scream, and I love Hackers, and I love Serial Mom. But 13 Ghosts was where you seen him in a totally different role, different aspects, everything. It was just, I couldn't believe this was the funny guy from fucking Scream that was killing people, and the funny guy from Hackers. And, you know, I mean, I was just seeing him in this. It's, holy fuck, man, you are a talented guy, and we do not get to see everything that you are capable of. And that's why I hope that he gets more and more roles, the more shit he gets in, basically, from his career being revamped, even though he's been around for ages. But no, I get so passionate about 13 Ghosts because it's such a fucking amazing movie, and I hope it doesn't get remade. And I know it's getting a TV show, but I hope it's never getting fucking remade, that's for sure, because they'll never be able to bottle that essence that he brings to that role and that story.
Yeah,
even though
I mean,
technically he's
it
not a
was...
main character. It's not about him, if you know what I mean. It's
Yeah,
just
no,
about
that,
him.
guys, as you can tell, that it's... I didn't say much about that because I agree wholeheartedly with Darcy, and on especially being as passionate about that movie as she is, because he was an absolute amazing person in that movie, actor, whatever. He just had so much passion for it, and the fact that it didn't get nearly as much recognition as it did, it's almost heartbreaking. But nonetheless, we're here for it. We love it. And, well, we're the ones wishing him a happy birthday. So, I mean, of course we're going to love it.
Exactly.
Going down a few more movies. Again, literally right after 13 Ghosts, he played in his iconic role of Scooby-Doo. A year later, and then a few movies down, he played in a very, a very iconic role in Without a Paddle.
Yes.
Guys,
That's a comedy. She's Steph
yes,
Green and stuff in it.
yes, if you guys have not seen
It's
Without
a
a
silly
Paddle,
movie. It's a silly
it is...
college movie, is it not? Technically, it was
Yeah,
classed as under the
yeah,
American
it's
Pie
a
umbrella.
movie where you guys can literally see that diversity spanning from his career, because he played in Hackers to
Mhm.
from Hackers to horror, from horror to basically a kids movie, from a
Family
kids
friendly,
movie to Without a Paddle, which is an adult comedy. It's...
young adult.
Yeah, young adult. Nonetheless, it's a movie that is hilarious. It's funny. It definitely makes you look at the brighter side of his career if you want the comedy aspect of Mr. Lillard. We know him so well from horror.
Yep.
Going down a few movies after that, again, in between the
Scooby-Doo.
list of movies, there's a bunch of Scooby-Doos.
Yep. TV
And
movies.
then
and shit.
TV movies, a couple single episode series that he's been in, like Law and Order, Exit 19, stuff like that. And then we get to Messages Deleted. Well, I personally thought he did an amazing job in this movie. Quite honestly, I thought he was really the only one that brought that movie to life, even though there are some, I guess, decent
'Cause it's
actors.
technically a horror thriller type.
Yeah,
He
but
plays this creepy teacher, doesn't he?
yeah, he's a creepy teacher in that movie. He's got... The movie was shown under a thriller type deal. He had like the whole package in that movie, literally as a creepy, funny yet scary, mysterious type of man for that movie. But it was a very, very good movie, honestly.
It's from the people who brought Phone Booth, which was amazing, with Colin Farrell, and then Cellular. Again, Phone Booth was another movie that, again, it was the first, kind of, wasn't it? And it was just like nothing's really been like that since. But no, Messages Deleted was awesome. And it was, again, another thing, we've seen him in a different role again. Creepy, and see, I still think, yes, it's a thriller, but it's got horror aspects of like kind of stalking. And when you watch the movie, if you haven't seen it, it came out in 2010. It was a 15, and again, it's a 92-minute movie, which you don't really get these very often these days. It gets 4.9 out of 10 on IMDb, but again, don't listen to IMDb. They write a lot of shite about stuff, so because it can be adapted by people. So it's, again, really good movie, really good concept, and it's most likely the synopsis is a screenwriting teacher is forced to live out the plot of a screenplay idea he stole from a student who now seeks revenge. It's like karma, basically. You stole something, now basically society and the world is making you pay because you've done something wrong. And it literally shows a guy going mental, getting crazy paranoid. And again, you see paranoia, killer, and just fear in Messages Deleted, and it's such a good movie. And again, it's his birthday, and we'll literally talk about all his good roles. We love them all, but we're talking about all the iconic ones that makes him the actor he is today. So.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And then after Messages Deleted, you literally go to
Shaggy.
More Scooby-Doo. Yeah, so like 2 movies down from that, played Batman, the Brave and the Bold, as Shaggy. Then you have Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo.
Phineas and
Ferb. Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo. Criminal Minds. Some more Scooby-Doo. Some more Scooby-Doo.
It is all Scooby-Doo, apart from some
Yes.
TV shows and some shorts. And when he's in movies, it doesn't seem to be he's in them as big role.
Yeah, and then we get all the way to the bottom, getting close to the bottom of the list, after the 30,000 Scooby-Doos. This gentleman is absolutely, again, I cannot stress enough, he is Shaggy incarnate, and he deserves to be recognized for it. But we also all know he is Shaggy, so yes, we are going to skip through them for the most part. There's going to be one that we will talk about just a wee bit, obviously, because this podcast series has been bent and manipulated around this for a specific reason. But we're going with the TV series remake. He only played in 4 episodes of Twin Peaks.
I don't like remakes of shows.
Neither do I.
Again, it was not bad. I just didn't like the way it was I felt like it was like a lead balloon, the way it was introduced. You know, if you miss your time, we've talked about that before, then you don't get prime, viewership.
Yep,
so,
I agree.
Twin Peaks was amazing. It was an amazing show. It was sci-fi, very dark sci-fi horror type thriller, and it had Kyle MacLachlan in it. And I'm sorry, it's fucking Kyle MacLachlan who was in Dune, the original Dune. I just think the original is perfect and obscure as it is, but the remake was okay. Again, would I have watched it if Matthew Lillard wasn't in it? Probably not. Oh, that's what I'm telling you. It was only watched because he was in it. I don't know about you.
Yeah, and to be fair, I didn't really watch too much of it because, again, it is a TV series remake, and like Darcy had said, we're not too keen on remakes. But did I watch it enough to see Matthew Lillard in it? Absolutely. And did he do an amazing job in it?
Yes.
Wouldn't expect anything less. So, was it a decent show? It was great. I mean, it's a remake, so it's not something I'm exactly proud of to sit there and say I watched, but it was, for what it was and for what the remake did, it was pretty good.
I think having someone like the alumni of Matthew Lillard in a show like that, in that genre, was probably a pull for a lot of people.
And then we go down couple after 3 of 4 Scooby-Doo more movies.
I haven't seen that episode because it's not on this season that I've seen of Supernatural, so we won't be discussing that. I just know that it exists. I know that it exists. That's enough. So,
guys, there is a Scooby-Doo special that is on Supernatural. We will not go down it because that is one thing that we have asked of not only our viewers, our listeners, our community in general, because I have sworn an oath not to do it, because I have to literally, my gums, my tongue, my cheeks are raw from not being able to spoil anything. So,
Diddums, are you so upset? Calm yourself, man.
But no, not at all. It's just it's one of those things to where it's like
Our thing. But we don't talk about anything supernatural because we're in season 5 at the breakdown, so we'll skip that and we're going down. There's a lot
down
of
to Good Girls.
yeah,
So
that is an awesome TV show that I'm
it
raging
is.
that it never got renewed, and it was going off in a bit with the stories, but it's fucking Netflix. It's not supposed to be real. Good Girls
Yep.
was an amazing TV show. I don't even know what it's classed as because there's adult content and it's, if you haven't seen it, it's basically Matthew Lillard, a naughty boy. Basically, he's cheating on his wife, and his wife decides to work with. Well, she takes down a supermarket with her pal and her sister, and then didn't realize it's owned by a gangster, isn't it? A Mexican? Is it a Mexican gangster? But they end up. It's a very good show. I loved it, but it's finished now.
So basically, it's these girls. They're struggling in life, and then they end up coming with a scam after meeting a Mexican cartel or drug dealer or whatever he was, to start making and laundering and cleaning money for this guy. And Matthew Lillard played a husband who was not faithful to where the wife, which she's played in a lot of movies as well.
And TV shows. She's brilliant.
Yes.
She's gorgeous though as well. Oh, sorry, but she is.
Her name is Christina Hendricks.
Yeah, I just seen that.
And she's played in so many good stuff. She's actually played in Scooby-Doo.
Really?
In 2020, she played in a animated movie called Scoob as Officer
I've seen that.
Hafe or whatever it was.
Halfway, I don't know. She was in Mad Men, that's what I know her from.
Yes, Mad Men.
And again, some TV shows might not be showed over here in the same extent as they are over in America, because it's the way you obviously with cable and stuff works over where you live, and so it's different. So if it's not on a streaming service, it might be on Sky and not be on elsewhere. So we don't get anywhere near. You'd have to literally be watching Sky 24/7 to catch a lot of the things that these folk are in. But again, Good Girls, it got 50 episodes, and I think Matthew was in them all.
Yes,
because he was a main character.
So let's take a quick second though. I just pulled up his profile picture for IMDb. Can we just take a second to absolutely recognize this man for looking like a true gentleman and a doctor or a scientist at the same time? I mean,
he's that bow tie, isn't it? It's the bow tie and the glasses.
Absolutely, bow ties and the glasses. Absolutely, he looks like a proper gentleman.
And that's him on the show there for D&D, showing you on IMDb with Seth Green, funnily enough, who he's been in Without a Paddle with, and is it Patton Oswalt as well? It seems to be. So yeah, he's again doing that, which I said is really cool.
So after this list of Good Girls, we go down. We were another Scooby-Doo.
And guess what?
Another Scream.
Uncredited flamethrower Ghostface voice.
Yes. And I thought it was great.
What, the Scream?
Yeah, the flamethrower Ghostface. His voice was very eerie, and I thought he just his uncredited, his voice for it. I thought he did. It felt like I was watching the original all over again.
It was nostalgia, wasn't it? Even having it. In fact, he was uncredited in the second one. Even though Wes is not here, they still randomly popped him in there.
Yep, absolutely.
Which is really nice.
It is, and then we kind of go down a little bit more. And then we go to Critical Role. Now, I personally cannot say I have seen this.
Yes. He's only in 2 episodes.
Yeah, he's only in 2 episodes.
And apparently he was in a more Scooby-Doo in 2023. And then he was in the True Lies TV show for 1 episode. I take it that's True Lies like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis. Is that based around that?
I would assume so, but I'm not 100% sure because I actually didn't hear anything about them doing anything about that. But it probably is.
Could you check?
I'll check.
And then there's Teen Titans Go, which I absolutely love. My son was obsessed with Teen Titans Go, and I ended up becoming obsessed with it too, being a big DC fan. And it's just like one of the kind of things that me and my son always sing. We always sing the song about basically the muscly, type Robin. I don't know if you've seen it. It's like talking about his guns and his. It's an inside joke because I work out and my kid will always say the song that's in that. And he's in 2 episodes of that apparently.
Yes, he's had some good roles throughout his career. Teen Titans. We just discussed a little bit about Five Nights at Freddy.
Oh, Five Nights at
And
Freddy.
then
Yeah, he was awesome. See when you first see
another
him.
one.
That's it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then another one, Fast Purple Worm, Kill Kill. Oh yeah.
Yep.
His work he has done right from the start, as we can see. Scooby-Doo seems to be something that has kept him in work. From that crappy remake with James Gunn, he seemed to keep the voice of Shaggy all this time, and this has again kept him in work and on our screens and in our ears. I love his voice, and I don't know about you guys, but he's another actor. You can tell who he is without looking around if you hear his voice.
Yep. And his laugh as well, because you hear it a lot in Scream and also when he is playing Shaggy. Wouldn't you agree? His laugh was it's a really iconic laugh.
He's just been a blessing in disguise. We were so glad to hear he's getting more Blumhouse work after the hit with Five Nights at Freddy movie. And the Five Nights at Freddy will have 2 sequels, making it a trilogy. And if it's anything like the movie that was released in 2023, then the trilogy seems to be in good hands. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, I would. And I've put it down here what he's actually going to be. But I'm really happy because when I heard the news, it was one of the I'd said to you before I even said to my husband, I said it to you when I found out.
So then he has paid his dues for throughout his career. The 3 movie deals to more people seeing his potential and what he has to offer. We love him here at Confessions from the Darkside, and that is true. How about you, our wonderful audience? Do you guys love this man's career? Do you guys love this man in general? He is a great actor. He is somebody that is a force to be reckoned with when it comes to his acting potential.
The craft that he has, yes.
Yes. His upcoming projects for the IMDb: Untitled Five Nights at Freddy sequel, which is in pre-production. The Five Nights at Freddy 2, which is in production. One Heart, which is in production. The Life of Chuck, which is in post-production. And the Faster Purple Worm, Kill Kill TV series, 5 episodes from 2023.
That's basically everything that he's either has been in or is going to be in because of the way the post and pre-production things actually go through,
Absolutely.
I think, isn't it?
Absolutely. We are not only here to celebrate this legend that is Matthew Lillard on his special day, but his accomplishments to the big and to the small screens, his contribution in this business, and the presence of his talents. We, the fans, truly believe you should be celebrated each and every day, Mr. Matthew Lillard, and I can agree wholeheartedly with that. Till I'm out of breath, till I'm blue in the face, till I pop a lung.
That's a bit excessive there, but I get
Yeah.
what you mean. That's enthusiasm right there.
Right there, absolutely. Oh my God.
So what is your favourite movie of Matthew Lillard's in?
My favorite movie with Matthew Lillard, I mean, that's going to be a no-brainer, obviously. It's going to be Scream.
So is that the first movie you can remember him in, though?
That I can fully remember him in, that I knew he was a major part of, absolutely.
And what's your favourite line from Scream?
Oh, my favorite line from Scream. Ooh.
Mine's the cheesy one, you better leave her alone, and I'll be right back, because he's like ripping the piss as he says. Don't ever say
Quite
anything
honestly, I
weird.
think the "I will be right back" definitely is the one of my
Also-
favorite lines, just because.
See when he's on the phone to Sydney, where he's been stabbed, and he's like, I'm feeling woozy here, and he's like, my mum and dad are going to be so mad at me. Yes, that's how they're going to be mad at you. The fact that you've destroyed their house, not the fact that you've killed and terrorised people since Sydney Prescott's mum was murdered, when you and Billy fucking killed her, and then just went on a rampage of killing everybody else. Yeah, your parents are going to be so mad at you for trashing their house. That's going to be the least of their worries, the fact that you're a serial killer.
I think one of my favorite lines that he said, and I'm trying to honestly think in the back of my head, because he's had so many great lines in that movie, but I think one of my favorite lines is, "I will totally protect you. Yo, I am so buff, I got you covered, girl."
I watched it last weekend and I was pissing myself laughing with the shit he was saying. He's like, leave her alone.
Yeah, I think that was one of my favorite lines, because roughly around when he said that, you kind of started picking up on little hints here and there that he had to do with something involving the serial killer. So it was more of a ironic saying for him to even say that.
He says it's not even just what he says, I think. It's the camaraderie of him and Billy, or him and Randy, and also Tatum as well, because Rose McGowan was amazing in that film. And again, she still has an icon. I think her death and Drew Barrymore's death. Drew Barrymore, the fact that she was a big actress even then in 1996. Her being killed first, you weren't expecting. The boyfriend that nobody really knew who the fuck he was. Yes, but she was killed first. Spoiler if you haven't seen it, where the fuck have you been? Because it's a film that, in 2 years' time will be 30-year-old. So you've got that, and then Tatum's cat flap, wasn't it? Or doggy door. Was it a cat flap? Was it a doggy door? And the garage, wasn't it? Again, another iconic role. But he was so funny, and when he was kind of in his manic episode, see at the end, where obviously it's like the finale of people being killed at the party, that's where he went crazy type. He basically goes nuts, basically, and you see that wee switch that's clicked, but the switch is already clicked off, if you know what I mean, because you see him kind of unraveling as the film goes on. But it's just like wee snide wee things that I absolutely love about Stu's character, and then he just becomes really silly, and that he's literally had a proper mental break basically when he literally thinks that he's going to be okay after that. And Billy's got to he's got to like be the adult, you know, when he's like trying to tell him like to start manning the fuck up basically. Remember when he's bleeding out and stuff, because they do that weird thing where they start stabbing fuck out each other because they think, you know, that's cool. You understand what I mean, don't you, about how
yeah, absolutely.
kids go crazy, and it's when they start to show their crazy side. They're like a box of Fruit Loop, the both of them. I don't know which one is worse, Billy or Stu, or they both just make each other like that. And what character do you think that he would play really well, like that we've not seen him in yet?
It's a difficult one, because I mean he's been in such a broad spectrum of movies.
I know,
and he's had TV shows, and he's had so much diversity when it comes to his acting career.
I want to see him in more kind of thrillers, like kind of psychological thrillers, because I feel like Messages Deleted, he was really, really good. We've seen him in loads of comedies.
Well, let me ask you this, because I mean I could agree with that. What would you rather see him in a thriller or a psychological thriller? Would you rather see him as the antagonist, or would you rather see him as the victim?
I would really like to see him in a sort of, not a remake of, say, like Hannibal Lecter, be like the kind of smart, almost savant type role that, you know, it's like he's been planning. You know, the way they kind of shows you, like, where you've got his brain, how he's processing the world. Let's say, like, again, savant, like, thriller. It's like he's thought about, not the perfect murder, but just like the kind of perfect scenario, and he's working it out in his head, and he's more smarter than everybody else. He's more intelligent. So I'd like to see him kind of like that, but it's like him thinking about things, like kind of American Psycho, like, where you don't know if it's happened or if he is having a mental break or it is really happening. That kind of mindfuck with the way he portrays his performance in the movies that we've seen him before. I think something that would totally mindfuck people like that, where you'd really have to think about, is he for real? Is this really happening? Has he just convinced us that literally this is all like fucked up, not happening? You know, something that you still, at the end of a movie, you still don't know if what you've seen is actually happening, like you do with American Psycho. I think that would be a good role for him.
I definitely believe you on that one. I definitely think something like that would be a perfect role for him, just because it's Matthew Lillard. I mean,
it's like
there's no really other way to put it.
Patrick Bateman and Hannibal Lecter, something that sort
of.
With
his age, I honestly feel if they did not kill off Freddie Highmore in Bates Motel, and they were to continue the series like after he went to jail and got out or something like that, I think he would have played a very, very good Norman Bates.
Like adjusting to society again, like he maybe had changed his name and stuff. See, that's a good idea, a really good concept of him getting out and like all the old stuff plaguing in his memory. Like, you know, you never know what it's like for him to adjust back into society because he didn't fit into society in the first place.
Or like when he got out, you know, he was in the halfway house, and then when he finally got, you know, to be free again, he went back to the original hotel and the house, and then found out that it got torn
demolished.
Yeah. And then his mental just snapped.
Unraveled, and literally, again, because that's where he was brought up, even though that's where all his trauma happened, it's gone. Some people would feel like a massive weight was lifted, but not to Norman, I think, because of the things that happened in the house and the hotel, because it was like a psychotic break from all that abuse and stuff. Because the TV show is different from the movie, the way they portray it, they go into more detail that the actual movies went into, even the remake of the movies, Psycho. So that would be really good. I think it's again Norman Bates, like a kind of Hannibal Lecter type, very intelligent savant guy who again you don't know whether he is the killer or this again like the whole Patrick Bateman. So that's his three characters we said. That's kind of similar because it's the whole psychological thriller making people think. If we could go back to the kind of 90s, like early 90s, mid to early 90s, where they actually had proper good psychological thrillers that were like horror, I think he would really he would achieve so much more, and I think that might actually kind of spin him in another direction of doing other things similar to that again, and maybe we could have maybe a reboot of that type of that subject in that genre. Basically in horror we've got psychological thriller, psychological horror. I think maybe he could basically be what Wes Craven did for horror. He could do that for the psychological thrillers of that genre too.
Yes, absolutely.
So Matthew Lillard, we think that you'd play a great sort of psychological thriller, savant, intelligent madman because you have played similar significant roles that showed that you have no problem playing a nutcase or a psycho. So yes, you could play all these things and also keep us on the edge of our seats and be thinking in the same kind of line of Patrick Bateman, basically. And I think we need kind of a kind of horror like that. I think I don't want a remake of Patrick Bateman and stuff like that, but something similar would be great.
Yes, absolutely. And
Is there a character? I don't know. Is there a character he would kill? We play a passion project. Would we like to see that? Fuck yes.
absolutely.
And what would you like to be remembered for? I think this is the questions that I'd really like to ask him. Like, what would you like to be remembered for? Do you want to be remembered for Scream or playing Shaggy, or do you just want people to maybe see your actual real life as what you're remembered for, rather than what you're famous for in your career? And also, we'd like to know what your process is when you get a script. Are you anything like us where you literally would delve yourself into it, read it cover to cover, literally fall in love with it? We want to know your thought process when you look at a script.
Yes, we
And
definitely do.
do you have any advice for aspiring actors? Maybe give some people some tips because again, you've been in Hollywood for quite some time, and you've again got your own niche of career, and you've just managed to be on the radar and yet be under it all at the same time. So that'd be nice for people who might be wanting to be voice actors or do acting or whatever. So if you can give us that, that'd be great. And what would you tell your fandom if you could? And again, if I ever met him, these are probably the questions I would ask him. I think they're good
Absolutely. And
questions, yeah.
she would definitely call me
Oh, I
and
would.
FaceTime with me that she met him, and I'd be a schoolgirl. I'm not gonna lie. I would probably giggle and squeal, and I'd be like ecstatic just to see
And
this
if he
iconic legend of an actor, even if I'm not there. But somebody else got to meet him. That they're calling me like, "Hey, say hi."
I'm sorry, but see if you ignored the phone, I'd be like, "You douche."
I
It's like
I
I'm
would probably
phoning you.
literally get I'd probably would get literally get 8 phone calls back to back to back.
No, I think you'd probably get like 30. Don't lie.
Probably. But regardless, I would eventually know, hey, either A, something's wrong, or B, she's got to tell me something big, and then boom, hi, whoa, whoa.
We need to create like not a safe word, but a word that you would actually know. If I said something in a text or something, then it would literally mean that I have Matthew Lillard in my possession.
Probably Rutro Raggy.
Ruh-roh, I'd end up saying something else.
You probably
Um,
would, knowing you.
I
We
feel
are
like ruh-roh atom.
yeah. We are nearing the end of our celebration to an iconic legend of an actor who's played in roles spanning from horror to thriller to comedies to kids movies. This man has touched so many people's lives, and probably half of them don't even know it, especially with the amount of voice acting this gentleman has done for TV shows such as Scooby-Doo or video games, again, such as Scooby-Doo, because he's done voice acting for the Scooby-Doo Monsters Unleashed video game. He's always giving his best And when
10%.
he does give his best, and throughout his career, there comes a time when you got to look at it. Is he giving his best for himself, or is he giving his best for us? And I can probably sit here and wholeheartedly say that this gentleman is giving his best for us.
I think also he does every character justice because he wants to show the best for that character in that movie, and that's why I think he's so different toward because of the type of movies that he's done and the different movies that he's spanned over his career. That he actually, he's doing it for us, but he obviously loves what he does because he wouldn't still be doing it, and he wouldn't because he's not always in big, massive movies. I think he really enjoys what he does, and I really, really hope that he still enjoys it. And then, next 20, 30 years?
Absolutely. I mean,
Mhm.
he's. I honestly feel like he could be one of the. Well, he is, but he could end up being marked down in history as one of the most iconic actors in history. You know, he could live alongside the greats such as Clint Eastwood, Sir Sean
And
Connery. I don't know. I was drawing a blank on his name, but his career is just amazing.
is he the Sean Connery of the horror community? Is he?
Yeah, I honestly would think so, because I mean, Sean Connery was known throughout his career as the action guy. Yeah, I would say Matthew Lillard would be the Sean Connery of horror, and same with Clint Eastwood. He'd be the Clint Eastwood of horror as well, because Clint Eastwood was, an amazing actor for very serious roles, very action-based roles, anything like that.
And when he did
So
something that was not serious, people were just like, what?
yeah, so is Matthew Lillard typecast? No, because we've seen the diversity of what he
Mm.
can do. He's done so much between horror, thrillers, comedies, kids movies, voice acting. He's got such a plethora of diversity in his acting career that has spanned for years now. And with this gentleman being as young as he is and having that much under his belt, that's what makes him a legend. That is what brings him for us to have a celebration of this legend. He's one of those guys that Mr. Lillard, if you ever did hear this, which it's going to be so far and few between, but if you ever do, we just want to thank you for giving us an amazing journey through your career and the amazing journey that's going to continue to give us till you finally do decide to retire. Today's episode was a celebration of your birthday from myself, from Darcy,
And
from
me
our community,
to you.
and from your entire fandom. Mr. Lillard, we would like to wish you a happy birthday.
With a hip hip hooray that apparently in America they don't do.
We do hip hip hoorays. Usually it's after the happy birthday song, which I am not obliged to sing.
It's a bit
But
overwhelming for people with autism to do the clapping, so the hip hip hooray is okay. It's just the clapping and the noise afterwards that scares the bejesus out of me. So, yeah, nothing quite scares the shit out of me like fucking singing happy birthday and screaming.
absolutely. But guys, we thank you for tuning into this very special episode to honor a man, a myth, and a legend of an actor. Remember to follow us on our social media platforms and our new Facebook page. You can check us out on Spotify, where we can do polls and questions
Mhm.
and free to answer and give us feedback. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, Buzzsprout.
All under Confessions from the Dark Side, same as
All
well.
under Confessions. Yep. All under Confessions from the Dark Side. Guys, we have enjoyed this episode. We would love to hear your guys' feedback, and we would also love for you guys to come join us on the Dark Side. We are waiting for you. This is Confessions from the Dark Side, and I'm Lunar Rising.
And I'm Darcy Darkness.
Later.
Later.